Quick updates today. First, today is July 20th. We are going to talk a little bit about the UN Arms Treaty. I've been getting some requests for that. And being that this is July 20th and we're talking about tyranny, this movie, Valkyrie, I'm going to watch it today. This movie, the events of this movie take place on July 20th, 1944. This is now the 68th anniversary of the closest assassination attempt on Hitler's life. And it restored German honor. There's a documentary by the History Channel, there's the movie, and it stars Tom Cruise as the hero. Yes, I just recommended a fucking Tom Cruise movie to my fans. That's probably the only time I'll ever hear me say that, but it's true. It's a great movie. We also have to talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room, the spree shooting. We know that there was a screening of Batman. We know that an occupier from Occupy Black Bloc or some shit with an Occupy division burst in. His name was Jason Holmes. He burst in with an AR-15. I think a Remington 870 and 2 Glocks. It was very, very calculated. He had a gas mask on, allegedly, helmet on, allegedly, bulletproof vest, allegedly, but he threw a smoke bomb into the room and he started shooting. Now, if you've ever been in a very, very crowded movie theater with a lot of sound, those sound buffers around this fucking, you're going to surround sound speakers, boom. It was during a scene where there was a lot of action and a lot of shooting. So if you're looking up at the movie, watching all the shooting, it could literally take you 30 seconds to realize that there's also shooting in real life. And a lot of people thinking about no one had a fucking handgun. This is fucking Colorado. No one had a concealed handgun. Let me check. Make sure the clock is running. Okay. True. No one had a concealed handgun. Now here's my issue. This is a good question. I'm in a crowded movie theater. I got my gun on me. Guy comes in the door. He's got an AR-15, I got a Glock 23. Am I gonna hit him before he hits me? I'm trying to hit him only. He's trying to hit everybody. So my question is, do you think that someone could have stopped him? In my opinion, the only way you could have been stopped is if someone with a handgun was literally right next to him. Think of the fucking pandemonium of being in a crowded room, like a movie theater, and having everybody go apeshit. Draw, pull, under intense pressure, aim, and fire. Can you do it? You would have literally had to have the fucking guy right next to him. As soon as he bursts in, he's shooting his rifle that way. Guy with the handgun is this way. Caps him at point blank range in the fucking side of the head or the face. It's fucking scary because sometimes, even if you have a gun, you know, you might as well have nothing. Because if I'm in a theater with several hundred people and they're all going fucking bonkers, I might not be able to get a shot. I might have to literally force my way forward, pray to Christ I don't get trampled to death or shot by the guy, whip out my gun and shoot. Also, I did my armed guard today, and I'm proud of myself. Last time I had to shoot with my second hand as the trigger hand, and my primary hand is my support hand, reverse hands. Today I had to shoot one-handed with my bad hand. Most of you may know I have a fucking problem with my fingers. Bad hand, single hand, dominant hand at my side, shooting a target from 10 feet away. Never did it before. Every shot was on the bullseye, and you could have taken a fucking 50-cent piece That's how close the group was. I wish I had this fucking camera there for that. You would have fucking died laughing. I wish I fucking did. Anyway, another quick update. Before the course started, we're talking with the instructor. The instructor's a gun dealer. A customer of his wanted a shotgun. He gave him a price. She's not my dealer, he's a dealer. She's not my dealer though. Gave the customer a price. Okay. Guy in the Bronx is $15 cheaper. The instructor, the dealer said to him, you can't go to the Bronx. Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, Staten Island, and Manhattan are New York City. We're not allowed in New York City with guns. Or Cuba. West New York we call it now. No, East New York. It's East New York now. We're not allowed in East New York with the guns. So, he goes downtown, picks up a fucking shotgun, saves $15, puts it in his car, and drives. How did he get out with it? I have no idea. In order for you to buy a shotgun in New York City, you gotta have a long gun license, which costs $120 every 3 years, and you gotta have a permission slip signed by the fucking police commissioner, I think. Puts it in the car, drives, gets stopped for speeding. I don't know how they found the gun. Was it in the trunk? Did he volunteer the information? One thing led to another. They knew the gun was in the car. Car repossessed. Gun taken. Guy arrested. Spent a night in fucking jail. He had to pay $1 million fees in order to get the car back. The gun is gone forever. They keep that fucking thing. Shotgun. And the instructor had to get him a lawyer, a retired judge who's not a lawyer on the side, to help defend him. New York City called Westchester County to demand they revoke his handgun license. Westchester County don't give a fuck. When you go to criminal court, every criminal court judge has a stack of cases this high on his desk. Everything from jaywalking to murder and everything in between. And more than half of those guys are in custody in the back room. Okay? Nowhere in New York State is it illegal for you to buy a shotgun without a license. Only in New York City. New York State, you can buy a shotgun or a rifle with a driver's license, one form from a dealer. No waiting period, no nothing. Just a simple background form and that's it. They do not consider that a crime in anywhere except New York City. So they don't want to fucking bother with it. They're not. But New York City is bitching this guy. He's got to defend himself. $7,000 he spent so far between fees, fines, and lawyers. $7,000 fucking dollars. Plus, you had to spend the night in jail. And the instructor told him, "Aren't you glad you saved your $15? That's why New York City has so much fucking crime. Because in New York City, they spend so much fucking time bullshitting and busting your fucking balls over a fucking shotgun. All in New York State, 18 years old, no felony, no domestic violence, no fugitive from justice, no suicide, no mental illness that makes you dangerous. Buy it from a dealer, one form of photo ID, one paper, fill it out, and you're done. Unloading, driving in the fucking car, driving the fuck home." He got arrested for driving through New York City with an unloaded shotgun in his car, which is not recognized by a crime anywhere else except New York City and New York State. New York State is not a crime, only New York City. Now, the UN, the Arms Treaty, let's talk about that now. A lot of people have said the UN building shouldn't be in New York, shouldn't be in America. My friends, the United Nations is anti-gun. Their headquarters is in New York City. They are exactly where they belong. Here's the deal with the UN Arms Treaty. There are several ways of transporting arms. Legal international arms means some country makes guns and sells them to some other country for commercial use, law enforcement, military. You have gun manufacturers from Europe building factories in America. Example, Beretta of Italy having a factory in Maryland. Several American gun companies like Springfield having a factory in Brazil. Different countries have different factories set up for this and the other thing, commercial sales, military sales, law enforcement sales. That's legal arms trafficking. I open a gun factory, I make rifles, and I sell them to the British Metro Police. And the State Department in both our countries knows what's going on. Then there's illegal gun trafficking, like Eric Holder will tell you all about. Take guns, give them to anybody that wants them, no questions asked. Most obvious example of that is the Soviet Union. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union gave anybody that pledged to fight capitalism, thank you clock, pledged to fight the West, pledged to fight the United States, pledged to commit an act of terror. If anybody pledged to do one of those four things, act of terror, fight the West, fight the United States, fight capitalism, the Soviet Union would give them a free AK-47. And as a result of that, there is not a single corner of the globe where there is not an AK-47. Then there is commercial citizen ownership of arms. I buy a gun from a licensed dealer because my country says I can. And believe me, United States of America is one of the last countries to give you the right to bear arms. Other countries, it's a privilege. Kiwi Ted Fernie down in New Zealand, he said he can get busted today. He said they can take his license away tomorrow. No questions asked. They can revoke all the licenses. I see Kiwi Ted Fernie. I see all his fucking museum quality weapons. I tell him, man, I'm jealous of you. You know what he said to me? You can use them. In New Zealand, he can't shoot anybody, even in self-defense. I can. So America is one of the last countries on earth that guarantees a law-abiding citizen the right to own a firearm and the right to use it to defend one's life. We may very well lose our identity one day. We have to very carefully keep it. They say that the UN Arms Treaty is to stop trafficking of illegal arms, and we have nothing to worry about. Here's the problem. Iran wants us to sign the treaty. Hillary Clinton wants us to sign the treaty. The shit that lives in the White House wants to sign the treaty. All of them hate America. The shit that lives in the White House hates America more than anyone else outside of America. Make no mistake about it. He hates this country. Friends with Hugo Chavez down in Venezuela. He acted like he met fucking Santa Claus and he met Muammar Gaddafi. Friends with the Black Panthers. Friends with the exalted Cyclops of the Ku Klux Klan. Apologized to terrorists after they killed American soldiers. And that fucking cocksucker Chris Matthews from Hardball says he's a patriot American. Yeah, a patriot American apologizes to terrorists after they killed American soldiers. Now, the anti-American forces of the world want this treaty signed. Right then and there, I automatically am afraid of it. I've actually heard people say UN soldiers will come into America and take our guns from us. UN soldiers will come in and steal our guns. And I'm like, dead men can steal? So, does the UN Arms Treaty affect illegal arms trafficking like the Soviet Union did? Does it affect lawful gun manufacturers from buying and selling across international lines and building factories in each other's countries? Or does it affect our Second Amendment constitutional right? Here's the issue. Because the anti-American fuckers at home and abroad want it signed, I'm against it. If he who must not be named said, don't sign the treaty, I'd sign it myself. But because he wants it signed, I'm automatically against him. I am automatically against everything he says and does. I will automatically choose the opposite side. If he fucking said the sky is up, I would say the sky is down. He hates this country, hates our people, hates our way of life, is hell-bent on destroying it, and if you don't think I'm telling the truth, look the fuck around. Who endorses him? Communists, Black Panthers, the Klan. Yeah. So, because our enemies want it signed, we cannot sign it. How would you feel if some country, a panel of countries, decided the U.S. Pacific Fleet should disable its radar and its sonar in the summer of 1941? Adolf Hitler, speaking of the April 20th assassination attempt, Adolf Hitler pledged in writing after declaring war on several countries and invading several countries, he promised in writing not to invade Poland. Before the ink was dry, he invaded Poland. Why do these anti-American countries and anti-American domestic enemies want us to sign this treaty? Why? I have no idea what the treaty's about. And like Nancy Pelosi said with socialized medicine, you gotta pass it to find out what's in it. I do not want to find out what's in it. Because I know goddamn fucking well, they'll tell us, hey, look at this. These are all the conditions of the treaty. This and that and the other thing. And then the minute you say okay, they turn around, they'll change something. They'll put something in. They'll have Iran sneak something in. They'll have China sneak something in. They'll have Hillary Clinton sneak something in. Understand this. It's to protect innocent people. Well, one thing that is not discussed in the treaty is suicide bomb material and suicide bomb packs. I saw an instructional video, I'll never show it on here though, I found it on the fucking news one night. An instructional video where a jihadist was instructing the brothers how to build a fucking suicide bomb. Shrapnel and everything. Now, why is it that suicide bomb packs are not included in an arms treaty that is meant to protect innocent people? Surely suicide bomb packs have killed more people than my guns. And you know the common saying, taking a gun away from a law-abiding citizen won't stop crime any more than taking a car away from a sober person will stop drunk driving? Gun control only works when the criminals obey it. That goes for at home and abroad. You have fucking countries that will literally sign a contract and violate it 2 seconds later. They'll sell guns, they'll sell drugs, they'll sell bombs, they'll open up fucking terrorist training camps in 2 fucking seconds. They don't care. Saddam Hussein fucking used mustard gas, even though Adolf Hitler refused to use it. Here's my point. Because our enemies are for it, we must be against it. Any person that signs it is themselves an enemy and should be arrested. Any American that signs that arms treaty should be arrested and imprisoned. Yes. There was a treaty that was actually knocked down. The law of the sea, where we Americans harvest oil off our shores, give it to the UN for free, and the UN redistributes it. Communism on a global scale. True. What would the UN do with that fucking money? Give it to terrorists, give it to communists, give it to fascists. You know they fucking would. Another treaty they want signed. In order for the United States to declare war, the United States President has to go to the United Nations and ask permission from the United Nations. Wait a minute. If we are attacked, God forbid, there is a 90% chance The country that attacked us is sitting on the UN Council. So we're going to go and ask them for permission to defend ourselves. Would Japan have given us permission to retaliate after Pearl Harbor? Would the Taliban have given us permission to go in and shut down Al-Qaeda camps? My friends, this is a very dangerous time we live in. These treaties have to be opposed. And half of Congress has vowed, more than half of Congress, Democrats and Republicans have vowed to stop them. It's fucking unreal. Oh, and by the way, this November, if you don't get out and vote, I don't want to hear a fucking word out of you. I don't care that you don't like Mitt Romney. I don't care that you don't like this guy. I don't care that you don't like this bullshit. Okay? George Bush refused to sign the UN Arms Treaty. How's that? If he gets back in November, Arms Treaty is going to be signed. This is going to be done. That's going to be done. Okay? So get out and vote in November, and don't vote for him. Because if you vote for him, you deal with the fucking consequences. Okay? Remember what I said. You vote for him, he gets back in. Next year, when we're on the breadline, I don't want to hear a fucking word out of you. Oppose the UN, oppose the UN treaties, oppose it all. Tell your congressman, tell your senator, tell your governor, tell your mayor, you will not vote for them. You will not allow them to sign a treaty or to vote for a treaty. Okay? Tell your fucking congressman flat out. If you sign the treaty, job, bye-bye. No treaties with the UN. Our enemies literally sit on their fucking council. Why the fuck are we negotiating ourselves into their debt as slaves? My friends, this is not going to end good. Thank you.